다큐멘터리 버스티드는 충격적인 내부 고발자의 자백으로 이루어진 영상을 다큐멘터리했습니다. 이 비밀 녹음 파일은 미디어에 의한 극한 범죄를 폭로하며 대중 미디어와 부패한 과학자들 그리고 사악한 정부가 어떻게 전략적으로 대중을 속일 계획을 세우는지 그 이면의 진실을 여과없이 보여줍니다. 세상의 이면에 존재하는 진실을 보는 새로운 시각을 얻는데 돈도 그 무엇도 필요치 않습니다. 단 몇 분의 시간이 필요할 뿐입니다. 당신의 소중한 시간을 내어주세요. 결코 그
One
시간이
of the
헛되이
hopeful
쓰이지
things
않을
that I've
것입니다.
discovered
영상을 꼭 끝까지
is that
시청하길 권유하는
nearly every war that has started in the past 50 years has been a result of
about my experiences being the crisis manager, the flu commissioner for Belgium and highlighting the communication aspects there. And then you have one opportunity to do it right. I mean, day one is so important. In day one, you start your communication with the press, with the people, and you have to do it right. I mean, you have to go for one voice, one message. In Belgium, they chose to appoint a non-politician to do that. I mean, I have no party affiliations, and that makes things a little bit, at that time at least, a little bit easier because you're not attacked politically, majority, minority. That doesn't come into play, and that was a huge advantage. The second advantage is that you can play in Brussels the complete naive guy and get a lot more done than you would otherwise be able to do. You can play in Brussels the complete naive guy. You have to be omnipresent that first day or the first days so that you attract the media attention. You make an agreement with them that you will tell them all, and if they call, you will pick up the phone. When you do that, then you can profit from these early days to get complete carpet coverage of the field, and they're not going to search for alternative voices there. And they're not going to search for alternative voices there. And if you do that, that makes things a lot easier. And then you have to say, okay, well, we will have H1N1 deaths. Of course, that would be unavoidable. I used there Sir Donaldson's quote where he said that in the UK, by the peak of the epidemic, 40 people would die per day at the end of the summer. So 62 at that time million people in UK, 40 deaths a day. I worked it out for Belgium. That would be 7 deaths a day at the peak of the epidemic. I used that in the media. I used there Sir Donaldson's quote. I used that in the media. 7 Belgian flu deaths per day at the peak of the epidemic would be realistic. That is true in every year, even interpandemically. That is very, very conservative. However, talking about fatalities is important because when you say that, people say, wow, what do you mean? People die because of influenza? And that was a necessary step to take. And then, of course, a couple of days later, you had the first H1N1 death in the country, and the scene was set and it was already talked about. And then you had to pick who is going to be vaccinated first. And then, well, whatever, well, women and children first, whatever. I mean, risk groups, they were important. And then I misused the fact. And then I misused the fact that the top football soccer clubs in Belgium inappropriately and against all agreements vaccinated they made their soccer players priority people. So I said I can use that because if the population really believes that this vaccine is so desirable that even the soccer players would be dishonest to get their vaccine, I said, okay, I can play with that. So I made a big fuss about this. I can play with that. So I made a big fuss about this. This is Van Ranst is raving mad, but it worked.
In een opwelling heb ik toen werd ik gebeld en in een opwelling heb ik wel gezegd, luister eens, we kunnen ook Wilders premier maken als je dat wilt, hè. Dus je doet het via ons voortaan. Ja, misschien moet je dit niet onthullen, maar dit is wel een beetje hoe het gaat. Luister eens, we kunnen ook Wilders premier maken als je dat wilt, hè. Dus je doet het via ons voortaan. Ja, misschien moet je dit niet onthullen, maar dit is wel een beetje hoe het gaat.
Inner office that once the public will be open to it, we're going to start focusing mainly on climate, global warming, and it's going to be our focus. Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
What does that look like?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's just going to be like constantly showing videos of like decline in ice and weather warming up and like the effects it's having on the economy and really talking about
Besides that,
head of the network, like just
who's that? Is that Zucker?
Zucker, yeah. I imagine that he's got his council and they've all like discussed like where they think
So that's like the next.
pandemic like story like that will be to death. But that one's got longevity. You know what I mean? It's not like climate is going to take years, so they'll probably be able to milk that for quite a bit. You know?
So climate change overload.
Be prepared. It's coming.
Do you think it's gonna be just like a lot of like fear, like climate?
Yeah, fear sells.
Do you think it's gonna be just like a lot of like fear, like climate?
Yeah, fear sells.
Who are you really shopping for this holiday season? It's okay, you can admit it, if you've bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
Well, it's okay. You can admit it if you have bought an item or 2 or maybe 10 for yourself.
It's okay.
We want to find a way of ramping this up even beyond the end of the lockdown. And I don't know when the lockdown will end. Some people are saying the 16th of April. But when we announced it, I didn't say what year it will end.
이 내용은 유튜브 커뮤니티 가이드, 즉 유튜브 정책에 의해 유튜브에 게시할 수 없는 내용입니다. 이번 영상의 풀버전은 채널 설명 또는 고정 댓글에 링크를 클릭하시면 다른 영상 플랫폼 사이트인 유메이커에 들어가셔서 시청하실 수 있도록 해두었으니 참고해 주시기 바랍니다.
그럼 이상으로 방송을 마치겠습니다. 시청해 주셔서 감사합니다.